Hello there, you precious people, and welcome to my roommate's bathroom. I'm Kira, and I like to do stuff, and what I don't like are runny toilets, so I'm going to have to exchange this thing because it's constantly running through. Welcome to my video. Now, before I start in earnest, a bit of background info. My roomie and I, we agreed that this toilet is horrible. It's uncomfortable to sit on and it has some other properties that we don't like. So we're gonna take this out. We're gonna put a wall mount for a toilet there. So that will be the cistern that's in the wall mount and the mechanics. And then a wall mounted toilet to that, which is really basically just the ceramics and the seat. No, that's literally just it is, the ceramics and the seat. And the wall mount will take care of all the plumbing details and the water in and out and that kind of stuff. So far, I have not planned out the details. I've bought them a wall mount. So I'm just going to take this toilet out. I'm going to put on the wall mount and we'll take it from there afterwards. Great, so now that that's taken care of, I'll have to get the cistern off. I have turned off the water down here. It's still, I don't know if you can hear it, but there's still a kind of a hissing sound from it. And that's because we've turned this one on and off so many times over the last few days that it started to be leaky, I have a feeling. So I'm going to check on that first and see if I can manage that with just a bucket. And then I'll have to undo screws down here to get the toilet out. There we go. Yeah, so that's running. Rubber hairband to the rescue. Not a lot of space, but there's the drain hole. So I can actually just take off this piece here and just dangle it down the drain. No bucket needed. That's nice. Sorry to everybody watching. This is not a state of the process where you can watch basically anything that's happening other than my feet sticking out from behind the toilet. That hole is smelly. No idea why there's styrofoam on this, but it goes all the way around. It looks like it's supposed to just stay there. This is the mechanic. Ooh. That's where the toilet goes. So this one goes into the corner, something like that. Oh, this is so perfect. Like, just stay. I'm going to take the camera now and I'm going to show you how perfect this is. Look, just look how perfectly it lines up there. And yeah, just gotta get it screwed fast now. Bolt it to the wall. Alright, I've now spent some time figuring out all of the things that are in there. And I have a number of minor problems. First one is, it says on the website that this is meant or suitable to get into a corner. Problem is, they're not made for corners. So I need kind of 45-degree brackets, angled brackets there. Next thing is, if you come over here and look at the packing, I need this thing. I have the bolts to protect the opening of here, where the buttons go in later. I just don't have the plastic covering, which is supposed to protect this from any rubble getting in there while I do the work around there before mounting the toilet later. So I'm gonna measure this out and I'm gonna go to the market and I'm gonna get some angle mount for this pit thing. I'm gonna ask about that plastic covering there. And I am gonna get some metal thingies and the stuff to make this pretty afterwards because, whoops, because now I actually know what it looks like. I can measure it. So let's go. Back from my trip to the hardware store, I got this styrofoam thingy, which is the exact protection thingy that goes on top there. So no dust and rubble gets in there while I'm building the drywall stuff around it. It was actually missing from the pack. The guy in the store was very sweet about it. He opened another packet and was like, yeah, it's in here, so you're just gonna get that. I'll throw the packet out because you kind of need this. Got assorted, what do you call them, plugs? Wall plugs and screws, both for drywall and for actual wall. And got some metal rails for drywall building and some tape to decouple the metal rails and the ground and the walls so that every movement on the toilet doesn't scream across the entire house. And also I got a set of tools for working with those metal rails, especially there's a crimping thing that can connect those metal rails with just like you tack it together without tacks though. So it just shapes the metal to stick together there, which seems very smart. Oh yeah, those, I had the problem that they're supposed to go in the wall like this, and I felt like there should be something in between the wall and the holder here, and turns out I can actually just screw them on like that. Balder's inspecting my work. Funny smells. Oh no, water, he loves water. Balder! super dull. Seems I need new drills before I can do this. This is the most frustrating build I've had in a long time. This is just literally really shitty.
It seems like I forgot to turn on my microphone for this part. There is no sound, so you get a voiceover. Turns out most drills are not suited for drilling through tiles. Also, the drills I had are probably 20 years old. I got them from my dad when I moved. I went to the hardware store, got some new drills in different sizes, which are made to be able to drill through tiles. So here we go with some more drilling, this time much less frustrating. You just have to imagine the drilling sounds, they're not pleasant anyway. By the way, I'm using a folded piece of paper to mark the 45-degree angle to drill at. And then I got stupid and tried to tighten the screw on the water outlet some more. And I completely over tightened it. It just got leakier and leakier. And I wasn't sure what to do.
Update, I did get the plumber. But like I called them, I thought I'd rather be safe than sorry. I called them up. They were like, yeah, we're just gonna be there in 10 minutes time. So I was like, yeah, 10 minutes, alright. I thought maybe I would have to wait days for the plumbers because it's really, really hard to get people to work on your house currently. So all they had to do was literally screw the old thing out, screw a new one in, done. Now what I still need is something to go on here to connect this to the water supply. Now the big brain move is, even though I measured it before, I have now this piece. Ooh, and it fits there. And the other side fits down there. So I just need a piece exactly like this, but a lot longer, from the hardware store.
So a week passed because I could not fit the drainage pipe into the drainage pipe in the floor. They were the exact same size. Turns out that's the only piece hardware stores don't have.
So usually you use some gliding cream to put on here in order to not damage the rubber, because if it's not completely tight, it's shit, literally.
The word I was looking for there was lubricant. You put on lubricant to connect the pieces. I then figured out that the piece I had was too tall with the connector. So I spent a whole lot of time deliberating if I wanted to cut it, if I had to cut it, because I didn't want to cut it too short. And I ended up deciding I just have to shorten it down. Before daring to do that though, I wanted to see if the freshwater hose fit. It did just barely, which is odd because this is a standard size bathroom and that's the longest tube they had, so that's odd. I measured out how far down to cut the drainage pipe and cut it carefully, gave it a bit of extra room just to be sure, and it ended up actually being perfect. I didn't have to cut out the extra bit. After that, it was finally time to start with the construction of the pretty wall element around it. I'm using some metal profiles here to hold the drywall elements later. And here I'm just cutting, marking them out and fitting them to the corner. I'm also cutting out some pieces where the feet of the cistern go, and I'll drill holes in just a little bit. But before drilling holes, there's still a fun thing to try.
Oh, also I really want to try this crimp thing. It's supposed to just be able to take two of these and crimp them together. Cool. That's amazing. I love this. There we go. So that's what they look in the like in front and in back. They're crimped out like that. And when you crimp them, whoa, focus please. You can see that there's like a needle kind of thing coming out of there, and it's just pushing through. Does take a bit of force. There. And we have it crimped together. Cat's going completely crazy now. Panda! What? Will we come in again? Just want to come back in. I don't think you want to actually jump from up there. Ta-da! Now, just to be certain, a strength test. It will get slightly stronger, but it's supposed to be able to carry 400 kilograms. So my 65 kilograms doing this shouldn't do anything, and they don't! Yeah, so I got here, I've got this set up, and now I'm realising I forgot to put in the isolation. There's a sound isolation to dampen any sound going into the floor. Next thing I forgot, I still need to put up some of those along the walls. And to do that, I need holes in the wall. I can't get to it while the thing is mounted there. I have to dismount the entire thing again. So now I'll have to think how to do this. I think I'll mount it with the side to the wall, like that. And then I should cut it off here, over there. So that would leave me with a piece that's cut off in the exactly wrong direction. But that does not seem to matter. As long as there's some overlap, I can fix it. Like fix it to the other part, which is exactly what I want. And I'm thinking over here that I'm just gonna make a cut there, so I can put the other piece of rail segment in there, and I'll just open that up and knock those together, crimp those together.
Spoiler alert, it actually worked. This was a thing that worked on the first try and it got really nice, and I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. The thing that didn't work is I'm using the crimp tongs here to make holes into the rails, hoping to hit the holes perfectly in the wall so that I can just screw it right in there. Turns out I did not make the holes in the wall perfectly, and I did have to drill up the the rails later. I also was smart enough to drill through both sides so I could fit the electrical drill through. I didn't have to do it all with hand. So I put those up there, then I realised I forgot the decoupling isolation tape again. So screwed it right back off, fixed up the holes, and then did some isolation taping on both the wall mount and the floor mount, because I was about to forget everything. So I was like, I'm just going to put that on everything now, and then I'll be done with that, and I won't forget it later, and I won't have to unscrew everything again. So next thing is to get everything up to the wall, right?
Now these are mounted, but little update. Down there, along the corner, along the edges, you can see it's kind of crackly. There's spaces there. We don't like that, so I'm going to fill those out with silicone, just to make sure I don't have ants burrowing in there and building the nest in there once the whole thing is finished. I would not want to open up the wall again. So, everything's fixed to the wall. It looks just the way it's supposed to. And the next step is to put on the drywall elements on here, up there. I have one of them here. I need to cut it to size, but before I do that and make everything in there inaccessible, I will try if the water, like the entire construction, if that actually works. No leaks. That's great. So now I'm ready to push the button. That came with a lot more force than I anticipated.
Next thing to do was set up the drywall element and get that thing nice and clean on the outside. I spent a lot of time working on it and making it fit and making it look nice. And in the end it turned out there were holes on both sides between the drywall element and the actual wall. And see what happens next.
So, well, after a few days of considering back and forth and asking at the hardware store, I found out that I definitely can't leave it at this, because the tiles, if I were to just tile over this, the tiles would break at the edges, because this piece of drywall does not go all the way to my wall. So the only thing that actually makes sense if I want to do this properly is throw out this bit of drywall, which is quite sad because it's a good thick piece, and make new pieces which are connected in the middle. Look at that mess. I figured, like now, afterwards, I should have probably worn breathing protection. I can feel this going into my nose, my cavities, like my nasal cavities. Not cool, but what is pretty cool, lovely, and all of the good things. It's not just, oh, not that noise. But, look, it fits snugly all the way down at all intersections. I'm so relieved I've got this done. This is so lovely. Now I just have to screw it on and make a top and put some filler on and put another layer on and tile it and put on the toilet, and yeah, I'm not even nearly done. It's the next day. I've been out for a morning swim, so please excuse my headdress. Don't mind it at least. And it's time to get those things screwed on. So those screws have like, focus please, have like a little drilling head. And you're supposed to just be able to put them in, I think. Alright, more research tells me those are actually the right screws to use. The trouble I'm facing is that my screwdriver, my drill, my normal battery driven drill is too weak. Not too weak per se. It will be able to do, but it's so slow that it just takes a long time to get those screws in, and I have to use a lot of pressure. Supposedly they also go into those, the thick steel profiles. So nothing other to do than test it out. Ooh, it works. Cool. I'm kind of worried about screwing those long screws into the steel profiles here, since, yeah, they're supposed to go through, but also there's a cistern in the upper part at least. Yeah, no, all the way down actually. The cistern goes around behind the steel profiles, and I do absolutely not want to put a screw into my cistern. I don't want to have to take all of this off the wall again. So I'm gonna try it out down here where the cistern is definitely finished. No more cistern there. Let's see if you can get through. Screw. Whoa! It actually went through! I shouldn't be this surprised since it was supposed to do that. Alright. It looks like, yeah, that's flush. And it doesn't go out come out on the other side. Yes, cool. Look at this. Isn't this just so satisfying?
Now what I'm doing here is putting on another layer of drywall, and that's just because those pieces are so thin that they would have trouble holding up tiles, because tiles are heavy and the stuff to hold the tiles up is heavy too. So the suggestion online is usually just put up 2 layers and then your underneath construction out of metal will hold up the tiles, and the drywall isn't going to buckle or fall off or anything. The green stuff I just put onto the intersection between the tiles, that's just drywall filler. And all of these green colours, at least in Germany, they mean that they're made for wet rooms, so bathrooms, kitchens and the like. So both the drywall pieces and the filler are made to be in a wet room. And actually they're not different to work with, they're just slightly more expensive than usual drywall pieces. So I carved out the holes there, and they were kind of to the side, so I cut them slightly wider with my knife. And that's pretty much it. The last piece is going to go up in a little bit, and I'm going to fill it out, the rest of it. And that's the construction right there. And now we just need to put on tiles and mount the toilet, the prettifying stuff, and I'm really, really looking forward to doing that.
Finally. This feels like way too much time to build a construction like that. There is nothing complicated about it. It's quite straightforward. I mean, this is in a corner, so alright, I have that. But I feel like I've made a couple of frankly weird mistakes along the way. But that's learning. That's how you learn, learning by doing. mistakes, doing it over. And honestly, I'm quite proud with this. I made this. I feel like this is enough for a video, so I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna get you another video as soon as I start tiling it, putting on the toilet, which has not arrived yet, so it doesn't matter that I took so long. I couldn't have mounted the toilet on it anyway. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's always a delight to have people around for my videos. And I won't insult your intelligence by telling you that you support my algorithm performance by doing all the YouTube things, you know that. Other people keep telling you that on here. So, hope to see you around next time. Over and out.